Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be sharing a few of our personal stories where we were living in places of obligation and compulsion, and how we transformed our lives to be living from places of inspiration, enthusiasm, and joy and power. Um, so, to get started, Ruta is going to share a story.
Okay, she's gonna share a story. Okay, where do I start? Um, my story begins with obligation to study in higher education, and I think that's something that a lot of people who are listening have been through, where they had pressure from their peers, from their families, and in their schools, for example, to go a certain path and to study something and to basically tick the boxes. And my experience was no different because um, I remember when I was maybe 17 or so, my grandma clearly told me that she expects me to either become a lawyer, a doctor, or an economist. These were three options I had. And yet, deep down, I actually desired to be a psychologist. But at the time, growing up in Lithuania, psychology had a stigma around it. And it's like, oh, only depressed people are going to work with me. And it's a really tough profession to have. And basically, I was talked out of it by my family. And like all together, we were like, maybe it's not a good idea. And luckily, I turned it all around because even though I didn't go that path and I studied innovation management and real estate management and business administration and entrepreneurship and stuff like that, I actually, through corporate career, turned it all around and realized that, in fact, it was my passion. And that's when inspiration came in. But how did it all happen? How did it all come to fruition? Is simply because I realized that I was not on my path, that I was living a lie, that I was doing what I thought I was supposed to do to please my family, to please people in my life, to appear successful, to make sure that I earn well and I have a stable income and I'm on this path, a career ladder that I can be proud of and I can put on LinkedIn also as like the how much experience I have and stuff like that. And so this is just one example of how I lived a life out of obligation. And the same was also in my relationship where I basically thought that I have to date a certain type of men or people in order to make sure that my family will be happy with my choice. So that, again, ticking the boxes. And I kissed a few frogs in my life to come to a conclusion that, well, I definitely need to follow my heart. And again, it's in all areas of life. I kissed a few frogs also when it comes to different places I lived. I lived in 6 countries until coming to Brazil as my 7th country to live in, to finally feel like this is the place for me to settle in. And all of these shifts had to happen in my life to come to come through these transformations, to shed all the skins and layers of this onion that were basically not me. And I was just this robot who needed to live a certain way to fit in, to feel like I'm good enough, to feel like I'm doing the right thing and I'm going in the right direction. While all along, I felt like I was just living a lie and I wasn't being true to myself and I wasn't living an authentic life. And I was even hanging out with people who were not as inspiring to me. And so fast forward to today, life has been a complete different story since February 2018 when I hired my very first coach, because that's when it was a huge ripple effect from ending a toxic romantic relationship to quitting my corporate career, which was sucking my soul out, to starting my coaching business, to moving countries from Berlin, living in the city, to living in Portugal, then to moving to Brazil, then being in a beautiful relationship with Tio and having this wonderful family setting with our 3 doggies. And here I am. Now it is a life out of inspiration, out of power, out of excitement, out of enthusiasm, out of love, a lot of unconditional love, a lot of acceptance, a lot of eagerness to create something that is not only for me and an exciting journey, but also for us and for people who somehow cross paths with us, either work with us or come to our retreats or whatever it is. And that is a place where it's like I could have never even imagined that I could live this way, even though deep down I knew it's possible. I'm a hopeless romantic. I call myself a hopeless romantic, and I always knew that it's possible to live a magical life. It's possible to find that partner who ticks all the boxes. It's possible to live your life or do something in your life that makes your cells dance. And I kept on believing that, even though maybe in instant environment it wasn't always easy to believe that, but I was like, I know deep down that it's possible. And I kept on believing that. And here we are. That's my story.
My story, well, my inspiration in childhood was The Matrix. And at that time, I read it as I want to become a computer hacker. So I wanted to study computers. And I did get to follow that after a certain stage. Like, I hated my early school life, I hated high school and all of that. But eventually, when I finally got into computer engineering, I thought I have found the, the place I want to be. And then I realized how miserable university education was. Like, it was not teaching me something to create, to be inspired by. It was just telling me, okay, this is the textbook, this is how you're supposed to program, and you have to follow exactly these rules. And there was no creativity in it. And me, being a very rebellious teenager, decided that I am not in this for getting the highest grade. I don't care about all of that. I am going to really enjoy programming. I want to learn. And I ended up being in the bottom 20% of the class pretty much the whole time. But I became the best programmer amongst the top three programmers in my university. I excelled in a lot of places outside of university where it was practical application. And that actually ended up getting me one of the best master's programs acceptances from my whole batch. Even though I had terrible grades,
Hmm.
my application showed that it was the limitation of the system, not my own uh, skill.
You cracked the matrix.
Exactly.
You're like, ha.
I hacked the matrix in that way. And that was for me very inspiring. And then again, I got into Georgia Tech for my master's in information security. So I was actually materializing the hacker dream. But once again, like getting in there was, I realized that the content was so dry and dull and it was so theoretical. And then I got a job at Amazon, which again I was like, wow, dream job. And then I got an information security consultant position there. So I did get my dream in a way, but it felt like it was always lacking something. It did not feel fulfilling. It did not feel like this is it. And that is when
Can I ask a question?
yes,
Did it feel more like, oh, I'm just making money and then it's great, it challenges my thinking and I'm doing all this good stuff, but actually the ultimate goal is to make a lot of money. Like a lot of,
no, no,
for a
I
lot of
was,
people, that's the case where career and whatever it is that they do for a living is just for the sake of paying bills and making money and making sure that their family is all right and stuff
yeah.
like that. And it doesn't come from a place of like, I truly want to do this thing.
Mhm. I was not in it for the money. I was making great money. It's really great money, but
That's why I'm asking.
I was not really in it for that. I really loved the job. I loved programming. I loved the information security part. Still, it felt like there was something missing. There was something empty. And at the same time, I was also a functional addict. So I was smoking marijuana the whole day for like several years. I was doing it every day, all day. And what was happening with that was that there was something, there was a lot of repressed emotions and feelings that was not coming to the surface. So there was this big disconnect. I was loving my job, which was only mental, but the rest of me was being ignored. And that is what was feeling like there was something disconnected, there was something missing. And then I came for an ayahuasca retreat that completely changed everything because I realized what the matrix really inspired in me was not hacking computers, it was hacking consciousness. It was about breaking through all the limiting beliefs, all the things that people tell us we are supposed to do and how we are supposed to live and we're supposed to get a job and we're supposed to make money. And even though consciously I was not in it for that, there was a part of me that was living that template life. I was living the template in the best way possible for me because when I was doing my job, for example, I managed to hack my job in the way that my manager loved me. So I could work from home whenever I wanted. So I was working from home maybe like 2, 3 times a week. And this was back in 2014 when it was not really a thing to work from home and have that kind of freedom and flexibility. When I would go into the office, it would usually be after 1 in the afternoon. So like I would be sleeping up until noon because I would be working up until 5 in the morning sometimes or 4 in the morning. And so I would do what I wanted. I would live the life I wanted. I would be smoking pot the whole time, which of course my manager did not know, but like, yeah, I was high at work and I was just doing whatever I wanted. So I did manage to hack the template and live the best template life, but still it was a template that was not for me. It was not a template I wanted to really live. And ayahuasca helped me to see that and helped me to realize that what really excites me, what really inspires me is consciousness. And what was the beautiful part of it is that doing software development and having the information security background actually gave me a lot of perspective into consciousness to start looking at consciousness as something that is building blocks. The building blocks are our beliefs, are our habits, are the way we see things. And all of that can be hacked. Like this is one of the messages from the Matrix is some rules can be bent, others can be broken. And this is what we are here to figure out is what are the rules that we want to bend, what are the rules we want to break. And this is not about breaking legal rules, this is about breaking the rules that have been put in your mind about how life is meant to be lived, what life is, who you are, how you are supposed to be in life. And that has been my journey over the last 9 years is hacking consciousness to become the person I really want to be, to live the life I really want to live.
What came to my mind is why most people also live this way on an autopilot and they don't even realize that they're in this habitual path is because they don't have a purpose. Oftentimes, people are so ingrained in this reality that they have created as their matrix because they don't really know what they want and what brings them a sense of purpose, what brings them a sense of belonging, what really excites them. And I think that was probably the shift for you that in Amazon, okay, you're great and excellent at what you did, but was it really clicking? Like, oh my God, it's actually making the world a better place, or it makes me so excited about what I create every single time. I mean, for me, that was a huge shift personally. When I was in the corporate world, I was like, okay, I'm doing my best. I'm as a project manager, but if this company is going to go bankrupt tomorrow, nobody is gonna give a shit at all. And that's when I started realizing, oh my God, like what it is that I do on a daily basis for 8, 9, 10 hours a day actually doesn't matter. Like literally doesn't matter. And that's when I thought something big needs to change. And I started questioning, what do I want to do? What makes me feel excited? What makes me feel like I'm contributing to a better world? What makes me feel like I'm helping people, or I'm doing something that will make the world a better place, a happier place? And that to me is a very important thing, because when I started noticing this energy in the corporate world, that it's all about numbers and it's all about transactions and it's all about just doing the job and then going to live life, like the work life balance, it just drove me crazy. Why people need to choose one or the other? Life is everything. And to me, that's what it came down to find a purpose and find something that really makes me feel like I have a spark to look forward to. When you wake up in the morning, you're not just like, oh, okay, snooze. No, it's like I'm freaking excited to wake up in the morning and create something new and create these experiences for ourselves, for other people, to do awesome things, to just live life fully. So what do you think how important purpose is?
What is coming to my mind is that there is a big trap here that I have seen in a lot of people, is that you may be waiting for the purpose to come before you actually change your life.
Mm.
And that is a big trap, is that you will keep waiting forever, because purpose comes when you actually start moving towards it. And that will happen when you start quitting the template life and actually moving. For me, that was going on that journey, going to do ayahuasca, going to do something that is out of the template completely. The purpose trap tells us that you change your life after you find your purpose. And to break the trap, you have to actually start moving in life, and that will automatically mean that you're moving towards your purpose. It doesn't mean you know what your purpose is. You don't need to know it beforehand. Automatically moving and doing something different will take you towards your purpose, because any movement is better than being stuck in one place. Once you start moving, then you will be like, oh, this doesn't feel right. I will do something different. This doesn't feel right. I will do something different. This feels right. I will do more of it, but it's not perfect. Eventually, you keep doing things and you'll find that perfect thing which you realize, this is it. This is my purpose.
And maybe it's not even perfect. It's just like it's something that resonates with you at the moment.
When I say perfect, that's what I mean. It's like it feels fully aligned with you. This is what I want to do. This feels
But you
perfect.
say fully aligned.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be fully aligned.
No, eventually, this is what I mean is that slowly, I already said that. First, it may not feel perfect, it may just feel good. You do it. You do another thing that feels even better. It feels even better till one day you find that one thing which is just making you feel
But my
fully
point is,
alive.
it doesn't have to even be that ever.
Mhm.
As long as you feel joy in whatever it is that you do, it's not perfect, it's not fully in alignment, and that destination might never happen.
Mhm.
And that's great.
Yeah,
That's also
agreed.
great. That's my point, that you don't have to seek for that destination that, well, at some point I will reach this
Yes,
perfect utopian space, like the paradise where everything is fully aligned and beautiful and perfect. It doesn't have to be
it
that way
doesn't
at
have to
all.
happen. That's true. Absolutely. Yeah, there are many, many levels. And yeah, when I say, okay, let me reframe that when I say fully aligned, that also keeps shifting. It may feel fully aligned one day, and then 2 months later, you realize there's something even better or different or something else I want to do. So, yeah, it's just about listening. If it feels great, do it. If it doesn't, try something different too. You don't have to get stuck. You can keep moving, you can keep changing to have the permission to do that.
What I want to ask you is, because you mentioned ayahuasca a couple of times in this
Mhm.
video, and for the listener to understand whether or not it's something that's for them as well, because there's a lot of myths
Yes.
around it. There are a lot of opinions about it, and it might bring some kind of a suggestion as if, well, if you want to find your purpose or if you want to change your life, then you must do that. You must go and drink ayahuasca. So I would like that to also be covered in this video.
Yeah, it can definitely help. Ayahuasca is a very powerful way to discover yourself, to connect with yourself, to connect with maybe your purpose, or maybe the blockage to whatever your purpose is, the blockage to what is keeping you stuck. At the same time, it's not a magic pill. At the same time, it's not a guarantee. Many people drink ayahuasca and nothing happens. Many people drink ayahuasca in the wrong setting with the wrong people, and they have a bad experience, and it can scar them too. So it is a very powerful plant. It is a very powerful experience that if it is not done the right way, it can go very wrong. Yes. And it's not everyone's path. Some people don't need to drink ayahuasca to find their path. Some people will find their path in different ways. And I was just talking about that as my path is what helped me. At the same time, I have worked with a lot of people without them drinking ayahuasca, and they have also found their path without having to use anything or drink anything or take anything. The main thing is moving out of being stuck, moving out of the template, and doing something you feel called to do, even if it doesn't feel perfect, even if it doesn't feel like this is exactly what I want, do it anyway. Do something.
Right. Do something. And at the same time, I also want to address some people are running away a lot in order to just do something. That's also not always helpful. And I have been there myself because I lived in 7 countries. This is my 7th country. So I know how it feels when it's like, oh, but I will just move countries and suddenly all of my problems are going to disappear. Well, no, not really. That's not how it works. And wherever you move, you bring your baggage with you. So I would say that it's do something. It also has to be intentional. Do something means following your gut feeling. So for me, for example, when I started this journey, was hiring my very first coach. It felt like the right thing to do at the time. Then I started participating in some meetups on meetups.com on topics that were resonating with me at the time. And it was about purpose, it was about how to live life, and basically meeting like-minded people. And it started kind of I started peeking into this other reality, into this other world where different type of people are hanging out, where they have different types of conversations, which are not just about politics, economics, I don't know, prices in the supermarket, and what kind of new song Rihanna just released, and whatever else, like Netflix movies or something like that. So for me, it was like, wow, okay, this is what brings me further and makes me feel like I'm growing and makes me feel like it's expanding my consciousness and makes me expand my comfort zone as well. So whenever you say do something, anything, I would not say that it should be something, anything, because some people could fall into the trap of constantly doing things. And I know people like that who have to-do lists this long, and they keep on ticking all the boxes constantly, and their schedules are filled with meetings and events and dinners and this and that and shebang, and it doesn't bring them any further. And just like a lot of people are also wearing a badge of like, oh, I meditate every day for an hour. Okay, are you integrating whatever it is that comes through the meditation in your daily life? Do you actually feel really, truly better for the rest of the day? And this is just one example of it's not about doing anything all the time. It's about doing the right thing. It's about doing the intentional thing, whatever feels right to you and your heart.
Mhm. Yeah, so it is obviously a delicate balance, right? And these are just words. When I'm talking about doing something, it's about moving out of what you are doing. And that doesn't necessarily mean the place, the location, the job. It means also an inner movement. So it has to be complete. It's not only moving on the outside, it's about moving things on the inside, about being someone different and getting the help, like hiring a coach to do that. This is the kind of thing we work with people, we help them to make those movements within themselves. And also for the kinds of people that you're describing, the people who are always doing something, who are always ticking the boxes, doing something different means maybe to stop doing that, maybe to do nothing. And this is one of the things we had in one of our early podcast episodes was a do nothing
Challenge.
challenge for you that stop doing things.
Mhm.
Take a pause, take a break, do nothing, practice that. That also is doing something for someone who's always doing something.
Right.
And that's what having a coach helps to see like, oh, this is what I'm always doing. This is my template.
And that's
I
also
need a break.
hacking the matrix.
Mhm.
It's like, wait a second, you keep on doing that thing. Let's just the complete opposite now. And let's see what happens.
Yeah, so obviously this is very general advice, and maybe you take something from it that helps you. Hopefully you take something from it that helps you. At the same time, we both always recommend getting a coach that will help you to identify your particular thing, that will help you to shift, that will help you to transform something both inside and outside. Because for each person, that's going to be something different. For her, it needed to be stop doing for at one stage of her life, and another stage was to do something very different. In my own life, I needed to make one jump in one area. I made another jump in another area. So each phase of life, each particular area of life requires a different guidance, requires a different jump. We are starting a program this Saturday. I don't know when you will watch it, but it's on 2nd September and it's going to be on the first Saturday of every month, where we will be coaching people in a group. And that also means that you will get personalized guidance if you need it. And if you want to join us, if you want to work with us, if you want to find a life of inspiration and enthusiasm, if you want to find a life of greater inspiration and enthusiasm, because maybe you already have some, maybe you're already activated, maybe you're already on this path and you get stuck again. So it happens too. Like you were doing this for 4 years when I gave you the challenge of do nothing. It was already 4 years or 5 years of working on yourself when you got that challenge. So even me, I have shifted a lot just in the last 5 months, but I have been on this path for 9 years, and doesn't mean that I did not need help. I still needed help. I still needed pushes to break out of the template that I got into after 9 years. This is something we keep doing. We keep entering into a template and we have to keep breaking it. So this is why the tagline of our program is activate your next level of genius, is to see where you have gotten stuck now at this level and to move to the next level. So wherever you are on your journey, this program can help you go to the next level.
Super excited about it, and see you in the next video and see you in the program if you decide to join.